In a family of 5, Jess and Maddie are siblings that do not like to sit next to each other. On a flight from Melbourne to Sydney, the family booked 5 seats in a row. In how many ways can the family be arranged without restrictions? So here we're arranging 5 people in a row, which can be done 5 factorial ways. So 5 factorial, if we evaluate that, is 120 ways. Part B asks, in how many ways can the family be arranged so that Jess and Maddie are sitting next to each other? So if we're to sit Jess and Maddie next to each other, we're going to treat them as one group. So therefore we have 3 other members of the family and their group to arrange, which is going to be 4 items to be arranged, which is 4 factorial, times 2 factorial, which takes into account the arrangements of Jess and Maddie sitting next to each other. So 4 factorial times 2 factorial equals 48 ways that the family can be arranged such that Jess and Maddie are sitting next to each other. So hence or otherwise determine the probability that Maddie and Jess will not be allocated seats next to each other. So in part B we found the number of ways they can sit next to each other. So if we take the total number of ways and subtract off the number of ways that they are sitting next to each other, we will find the number of ways in which they are not allocated together, which is going to be 72 ways. So that's the number of ways that they are not sitting together. So the probability that they aren't sitting next to each other is going to be equal to the number of ways that are allocated that they are not sitting next to each other over the total number of ways that the family can be seated without restrictions. And if we simplify this down, we find that that is equal to 3 over 5, which is the probability that Jess and Maddie are allocated seats that are not next to each other on the flight from Melbourne to Sydney.